there, it's Debbie with the Pickin Coop Farmstead. The rainy day continues, and I'm making a meatloaf, and I just realized I wanted to show you how I make my meatloaf. I never make it the same way twice. But anyways, I have these big old baker potatoes, and they take an hour and a half, and my meatloaf takes an hour. So I thought I'd show you how I prepare my baked potatoes. All right, so here they are. Carefully stab your potato. This allows the steam to escape. You get close to your hand, you want to go a little slower. And that way your potatoes don't blow up. All right, then I put them on foil. Let me get that right there for you. I know foil is kind of a no-no, but I use foil. And I put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, just kind of drizzle it over the top. You don't need much. This gets your skins nice and crispy because we like to eat the skins. Then I take some, of course I always use my Redmond's mineral salt. Sprinkle that over the salt, or excuse me, the top. I kind of roll them around. That way everything is coated. Roll them over. There we go. So that's all there is to that. Super easy. And then just wrap them up like a little baby. Okay. I am going to put these in my oven. I'm going to set my timer though for 30 minutes. That way I'll know to kind of flip them over with the hot pad, mind you, and it'll be time to put the meatloaf in. So I'm going to put these in the oven. I'll be right back. So now we are back over to the meatloaf, and I've already added almost all my ingredients. I'm so sorry. I have a pound of our homegrown ground beef. I have about 3/4 of a red onion because I had that left over from last night. I got these from Azure Standard, so they're organic. Then I have, I usually get the sweet Italian sausage. They're in the links. And then I just cut them up. I think those are little, I don't know. I don't think they're quite a pound. They might be. And then I was going to pick some fresh celery, but I forgot when I was out there. It started raining. So I have some dried celery in there. I have some old-fashioned oats. You can use quick cooking oats. 2 farm fresh eggs. I like to sprinkle a little Parmesan. If I don't have Parmesan, I put a little grated, any kind of cheese will work. Any kind of cheese that you like, actually. I put a couple of heaping tablespoons of chopped garlic. So I got onion, garlic. What else do I put in here? A couple of eggs. I think, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I put in here. I usually put in whatever I have. That way, oh, sometimes I put grated carrots, and I figure I have enough ingredients already. Grated carrots are nice because they add a little bit of sweetness. Good old Worcestershire sauce, however you like to pronounce it, that goes in. And if I don't have onions or garlic, I use onion powder and garlic powder, or granulated, whatever you have. I'm going back to my Redmond's mineral salt. Ooh, that's quite a bit. Because you got to remember your sausage has seasoning in it, or excuse me, quite a bit of salt. You can add chopped bacon to this. You can get really, really creative. So I'm only going to put that much salt. Big pinch of coarsely ground black pepper, maybe 2. Have to be careful because this is going to be kind of spicy. So that is usually what I put in there. And I'm excited with this meatloaf because it's the first time I am going to use my homemade ketchup. So hold on, let me grab some. The hubby just got home from work, so you can hear Johnny talking to him. So this is just a little half pint. I shake it up real good. I use my 4 jars lid opener. Open this guy up. And I'm going to drizzle a little bit of this. Got to be careful because you don't want it too wet inside of my meatloaf. Okay, now this is the fun part. Just dig in with your hands. So I'm going to move this. Put this right here so you can actually see what's going on. Get a little closer. There we go. Good enough. And just squish it around. You can wear gloves if you don't like this part. I don't. I save my gloves for first aid, for when I'm doing a lot of hot peppers, choppings, and so forth. And yes, one of the onions just went out on the floor. But you want all the ingredients combined equally. I am really making a mess, only because I'm on the film, I guess. So you've got cheese, you've got onions, you've got oatmeal kind of as your binder. You could use breadcrumbs. You can use, what else could you put in here? Crackers. Sometimes I'll put crackers. Just depends on what you have. All right, so this is a giant meatloaf. I really don't want one that big. So what I like to do is cut them into 2. So half. All right, I'm going to have to move it this way. And there's a nasty old fly in here, that little bugger. I had them all killed. He must have snuck in when the mister got home. We got cows, so when you have cows, you have flies. Okay, so I've got 2 meatloaves. Doesn't matter, you're not sewing these. They don't have to be beautiful. I make like a little trench down the middle. Okay, and then I am just going to get out of here. I'm talking to the fly. There we go. All right, then I'm just going to put, because there is a dang fly on the loose, I'm going to put a towel over this and wait out the 30 minutes. So I will be right back. Actually, I'm going to have to. There we go. Oh, sorry about that. I spilled the pepper, and when I get around pepper, I start sneezing like crazy. So I cleaned up my workstation area. I covered up my meatloaf with a cloth. I got that pesky fly. It wasn't a house fly. I don't know what kind of bug that was, but it was weird looking. But it is no longer with us. Yes, I do have my microphone on. Okay, so when my 30-minute timer for my potatoes goes off, I'm going to pop this in the oven uncovered. I prefer to cook mine uncovered. Some people cover it up and then take the foil off the last 15 minutes. I don't do that. The last 15 minutes, though, I will pour the rest of my homemade ketchup on there. I'm super excited to see how it tastes with that. So, anywho, we will be back when the meatloaf and the potatoes are done. So stay tuned. All right, guys, we're down to the last 10 to 12 minutes. I was busy crocheting. So here we are. Now I'm gonna pop her back in. All right, guys, we are here finally. I'm hungry. All right, so first of all, let me show you the potato. Be very careful. Use hot pads if you need to, because these dudes are hot. Whew. And carefully cut these open. And dress your potato how you normally would. I use an obscene amount of butter. And I gotta make sure to save some from the mister. Okay, and I always like a dollop of sour cream and some pepper. Lots and lots and lots of pepper. Okay, I do not salt my potatoes simply because the butter is salted and I salted the skins of the potato. Okay, so now I am going to show you the meatloaf. Look how pretty that is. And you just slice. Usually I cut this with a knife when I'm being lazy. I feel like whenever, do you feel like this when you're canning? It feels like you're doing dishes all day long. Because that's what you're doing. Alright, so I got me some meatloaf. You can put extra ketchup on there, but I find with the ketchup on it like this, you really don't have to. So there's that. That's all there is to it. Baked potatoes, meatloaf, throw a veggie on the side or some salad. You got yourself a fantastic meal. All right, I hope the sun is shining where you are. If it's not, I hope there's enough rain to wet your garden, not too much rain. And thank you so much as always for watching, subscribing, and sharing my channel, commenting, and all that good stuff. God bless and happy dinner making. Ta-ta, bye-bye.